Hello everyone, hope you're all well. So I have been working on my journal, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery 8, and I will show you progress, but in the meantime what I want to do is, there's a stain here and there's a rip there, so what I want to do is cover them both. Let me just pull you a bit further over. I'm not sure how much you can see. I think that's better, or maybe down rather than over. Yeah, a little bit down. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I thought I'd do this with you guys, and we'll see where we go from there. I was thinking about I had to cut this up yesterday. It's got stains on it, and actually, oh, that's stained as well. Yeah, I was thinking I would use that there, but now I'm wondering if it shouldn't be plain. But I would want it plain as in something like that. That's a bit too much. That, too samey. I know what I want, but I can't find it, if that makes sense. I can't. Oh, what about this? What if I were to take that across there like that? Or even some lace out of my... Let's see what we've got in here. Because I'm looking, I wanted a bit of contrast, maybe some white lace here. You know, so it stands out. Does that work? Does it cover it up? I'm not sure. Okay, well, yeah, that's not wider. It's pretty though. Sorry, I can't see. I'm gonna have to put my light on because it's very dark for me. I know it's probably not for you guys. The only problem is then you don't see the true colours. No, I don't think that's right either. Okay, so I'll put that away for now. Oh, get that out. Oh. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in there. That, will work for me just now, but you know, there's always it doesn't have to be lace. So as I said, I was looking at something like that. Wow, why not that? I love these little squares, they're just so pretty. What about that? I don't know. I'm gonna have a look in my fabrics, see if there's anything there. I don't want to take forever on this, but let's just see if there's anything. I like that. Oh yeah, I love that. How about that there? I think I'm going to go for this because if you see, oh, I have to move. See, I just don't have enough room on this table now. I haven't. See how they match? I think I'm going to go with this. I think it will be a really lovely bright piece on the end there. That's not long enough, so I think, yeah, I'm going to go with that. rectangular thingies, or this. No, I think I prefer this. I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to just base stitch this on, I think. What do you reckon? I'll put that under there. Although I'm base stitching everything on it at the moment. I mean, I don't know when the real stitching is going to start at this rate. That's just gorgeous. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a shame to use it all up in one go, but you know, I just think that's really pretty. Work on the white basting stitch around it, and then I will. Yeah, so this would be, I think it's a prompt favourite bit of fabric or something, because I think this would be it right now. I mean, I couldn't possibly choose favourite bit of fabric. I've just got so many, but right now it's this. So this might be one of those prompts. I haven't really chosen my favourite doily yet, but again, it's the same thing. You know, I've just got so many favourites. So like I say, I'm just going to base stitch this on for a minute, and when you do this, it helps that you can sort of look at other things. Look at you know, more about how it looks when you've unfolded it all. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I was up early again this morning with Cara for a walk. Well, we played, had a little chat with other dog walkers in the area, and there's a lot of not labradoodle. She's a labradoodle, but people mistake her for a cockapoodle because she's quite small in stature in comparison to labradoodles. They tend to be a bit taller. She is a full labradoodle, but I believe. But yeah, I'm going to stitch through there to hold that in place. I've been going around the around these, trying to pull them together a bit as well, so and it's worked really well. So yeah, I'm doing that. I have to try and just, no, I will have to turn it around. Sorry guys, sorry. Can't do it like that. This is just ridiculous. I need more space. Ridiculous, Julie. You're being ridiculous. Right, yeah. Thank you for all your lovely comments, by the way, on my last video where I, you know, slow stitch video where I did a reading. I'll do that occasionally. I mean, I love doing it, don't get me wrong, but it takes ages to do because, you know, I've got to find the right music. I can only publish 1 minute at a time with each music piece. You know, I haven't bought any editing software, I just use the free. Otherwise that's going to be another expense, and I'm trying to keep my expenses down. And then I'm not trying to keep my expenses down, but I don't want to pay for something that I will only use now and again. But anyway, it takes such a long time to edit those videos. It takes all day. It really does. And I think people don't realise it. I certainly didn't realise how long it takes to do that sort of thing. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad you liked it. And I will do more, but I'll do them occasionally. They will be an occasional thing rather than a regular. And I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but it's nice to have variety in the things we do. And I think that just, for me, I love reading, I love books, they're my passion. and so to share in that way, I just love doing it. You know, some people don't have the time to read, but they enjoy listening to other people read, and so that was my thinking behind it. But thank you for your lovely comments, those of you who have commented, and welcome to any new subscribers. It's lovely to have you here, and thank you to ongoing subscribers. You are amazing. You keep showing up to support me, and that's just fantastic. So thank you, and to those of you who comment as well. I mean, you know, you're just amazing. So thank you. Right, so I'll just pop it up there like this. I'm not using glue on this one. I mean, in the past I have used glue on these things on my slow stitch, but I'm not in this because I don't want it in any way to be stiff. It's that's not what it's, you know, that's not what I want for it. I mean, I don't mind on smaller projects, but yeah, I don't want it on this. So, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I imagine it sort of something that I will just enjoy looking at. It will be draped over a chair, and then I will use it. It's not going to be a warm duvet thing, you know, quilt type thing, because I don't think I'm going to put any batting or anything inside of it, you know, and layer it that way. I think it's just going to be a heavy, because it's already heavy, and then with all these pieces at it, it's going to be even heavier. I've been looking at different stitches that I can do as well, so, you know, I don't want this to be a boring just base stitch project. You know, I want you to enjoy some of watching me do some other stitches, but I just want to, hopefully you will, you know, it's a journey, isn't it? It's something that we're I know my cotton's under there somewhere. Come on, cotton, where are you there? Some of you are doing it, I believe, and some are not. But if you are, I hope this is inspiring you in some way. I hope you're finding, I mean, like, I look at other people's work and get ideas from theirs as well. I'm going with my intuition here. I'm not really following anything other than I hope to follow the prompts. But, you know, I tend to do my own thing in the end. I'm hoping that I can stay with the prompts, though. When I say can, I'm hoping that I don't want that. I don't want to fold that, but if I stretch it a little bit, I don't think you'll notice after a while. I mean, there'll be, so I am still being methodical with this. You might see that. I don't know. These bits that are sticking up will all be stitched down, by the way. I don't want them sticking up, but I'm not stitching them down right now. That will be, I mean, I have started to stitch others down, or together rather. So where two join, I've started stitching them together. Oh, this, I want more of this. I wonder if it is with the linen garden, the Vicky might have more pieces. So I'm going to ask her. I'll take a photograph and ask her. I know Vicky personally from a program that I did with both her and I were participants of a mentoring program for artists. So we were training to be mentors for other artists or creatives, and so yeah, that's what we did. And so I met her there, and she has a beautiful website, well, beautiful, you know, sales thing, where she sells vintage and antique fabrics and all sorts of things, not just fabrics. She sells all sorts, and I have bought a lot from her over the years. Right, really happy with that. So that's the first thing, and I think it goes really well with this, as you can see. So that's my first piece of all patterned fabric. The rest is sort of like a couple of little doily pieces that I've cut up, or I've got that. No, anyway, let's have a look, see where else we can just add in, where either it's stained or I want to add in. So, oh yes, the other thing I've done is I did this. So on a, oh, let me see if I can find it for you. So I'm just looking over on the, there it is. So on this piece, which I absolutely adore, I wrote, "I am no burden, no net ensnares me." So it's from the book Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë, and you know, I just wanted to repeat it on here because I love it. I love that passage out of the book. So yeah, and I'll be doing this all around, this type of thing. Lots of writing. I haven't got a theme for the writing yet, but there might be one. Right, let's have a look. Is there anywhere else it's stained? That's not. That's lovely. That I just love this. I love this work here, and then that. I think that is covered up. Oh, that's ribbed, but I'm not going to put anything there right now, I don't think. You know, I don't think there is any. Oh, there's a piece. What could we put there? Let's see. Nope. I had a long thin piece, didn't I? Where's that? Where is the other bit of that? Because I've already put some on. It's over here, so it's over the other side there. What I did is it had this stitching on here, and because I cut it, it didn't have there, so I did some blanket stitch around there. But this, I think this might work here, will it? Just one piece, maybe, in there, because there's a stain there, and I would cut that and then maybe use that somewhere else. I was thinking I would cut, I wouldn't make it long enough. I would cut it like that, but to be able to use that there on its own, I think is quite nice. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get it done. I probably won't do any right, let's have a look. Oh look, blue. It's a shame, but never mind, because you won't see it anyway. It's going to be hidden. a little bit. Not that much though, I don't want it hidden that much. Stitch some of this down, so now it's difficult to tuck it under, but yeah, I think that works. It's just a little bit of interest in the corner there, and then we'll bring this over. It will hide the blue edge, but I'm not too worried about that. And this doesn't look right either. It's not straight, but wondering whether to do it that way, you know, because you'll see why. You couldn't see it. There. So now you can see all of the pattern if I do it that way. Bring that up and there. Yeah, I'm going to put that in. Okay, well, let's do that then. Pull that up. And that will tuck under there. And then that will come over like that. So actually I'll start there, I think. I think some of this stitching may end up not coming out because, you know, there's going to be an awful lot of it. And once I've stitched over it with either cantha stitch or decorative stitch or whatever, I don't think you're going to notice it much. But it's on the back that I'm more concerned in how it looks on the back, because I like to keep the stitching visible. If I decide to go down the route of it being a quilt, then that would be different, because then I'll have to back it anyway, which would give it 3 layers of, well, more than 3, but yeah, 3 main layers of fabrics, because I've got the bottom layer, which is this, then the next layer are these, and then the third layer would be, well, 4, because then I would have blanket or something in between, or, you know, something of that nature. What's it called? I have got a really old nice vintage blanket downstairs that I could, it's a cream one, and I got it when I bought these things, all these things that I'm using right now, which was a couple of months ago. If you saw the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was just so lucky that there was, you know, an estate sale, if you like, you can call it that, and the person, the sisters who had inherited the house, were selling all these things, and they weren't, you know, expensive. I was very lucky. I got them very, I mean, if I resold them, for example, then yeah, I could have made a lot of money, but that wasn't why I got them. To think about selling, you know, offering to you guys, and even maybe giving some away, but at the moment I'm using what I can, and then if I've got anything left, then I'll see. But I wanted to have as much choice myself as possible, so I haven't done that. I haven't offered them yet, but that's not to say I've given a couple of bits away, but just a couple of bits. And I used some, did I? Yeah, I used a couple of pieces when we went on our hen weekend. I took some of my own older pieces that I have that are vintage and antique, and I also took some of these bits that I washed them all, and took me weeks to wash, to get all these washed. Oh, yeah, could have done better there, but it is only these stitches, so it's not too bad. But you'll see that I am stitching these down. I'm stitching into them as well. So don't think I've got any news. I've been at home since the weekend, and just relaxing and, you know, working on these things and enjoying the time in my craft room. I've been in every day. I'm looking after Cara, and had planned to go south, but we decided that it was too many trips for Cara. It would have meant 4 trips backwards and forwards down south, because they're coming back up for the wedding, so it would have meant 4 trips. And yeah, so, and also confusing for her as well. So we just decided, well, they're coming up, they're going to stay an extra day after the wedding, so I'll get to see my grandchildren, and they're going to be coming. I mean, normally we all go and stay at my sister's house because she has a bigger house, you know, that can accommodate us all. But then well, last time they actually rented, she has an Airbnb property next door to her, my sister, which is really nice, and they booked that last time they came up at Easter, and that was nice, having the 2 spaces. It wasn't necessary, but it was nice. And I'm trying to think. Sorry. I know that I'm pulling all sorts of stuff on the floor when I do this, so I'm trying to be careful. Yeah, that's the bit that I haven't stitched properly, so I'll have to go over that again. Yeah, so they'll be staying an extra day after the wedding, which will be lovely. And as I said, the grandchildren will stay with me maybe 1 or 2 nights while they're up here. But for the most part, we'll be staying at my sister's house during that period, because it'll be, you know, more fun to be around each other like that. All together, you know, sort of like we all get together, and my son's coming up as well. He hasn't been up here for 2 years, which is a long time, and so I can't wait for them to come as well, my son and daughter-in-law. But I go down to see them often, but they haven't been up here. Whereas my daughter comes up regularly to bring the grandchildren to see me, and, well, to see the family, not just me, but generally just to see family as well. And me, I'm their gaga. I'm my grandchildren's gaga. They don't call me grandma or, oh, I had a feeling I was doing that. Okay, I have to take that out. Yeah. I'm not grandma or nanny or nana, I'm gaga. And that was my choice because, I mean, certainly not old, but I'm not young, but I didn't feel like I wanted to be grandma. I didn't want to be, I like gaga. When I lived in Greece, they call their grandmas yayas, and I suppose it's just a play on that, really, the word grandma and gaga. But I like it, and the children find it easy to say. And what was interesting is my granddaughter used to go to a Steiner nursery, preschool thing, and I loved it, and I used to teach small children as well. So when I wasn't teaching, sometimes I would go with her and work there. They would call on me if they were short-staffed or whatever. And so, yeah, I would go in, and because Evie called me Gaga, the other children started to call me Gaga. It was so funny. Yeah, they thought that was, you know, well, that was who I was. I just loved it. It's so nice. Yeah, it was such a lovely place. Really lovely. It's a much gentler way of teaching children, especially that young age, when it doesn't need to be intense. You know, who wants, what small child wants intense lessons or anything really, even intense play? They don't need that at that age. We're talking sort of 4 and 5. Teddy didn't go to the Montessori. I think it closed down. Not Montessori, sorry, Steiner. It closed down, I think. And but he did go to a very good nursery. Very good nursery. And actually, he had a much better start, if you want to call it that, in phonics than Evie did, because she wasn't practicing that, whereas he was. And of course, when they get to school, that's what they learn, phonics. So he was much more advanced in that area. But Evie is a super creative girl. She's 10 going on 11 and Teddy's 6. And she is super, super creative. And she always has been, always. And so in a way, it's, you know, and he's also creative, but he's also very, you know, his reading is amazing for his age. He's top of the class in reading and things like that. He's just, yeah, very, very bright little boy. And Evie's bright, but she's different, you know, she's more, she's creatively bright, but she's also bright and intelligent and emotionally mature and things like that. So yeah, beautiful kids, both of them. I know I'm biased, but they really are beautiful natured children. My daughter was telling me stories about their holiday. They've just come back from Ibiza, which when she told me they were going to Ibiza, I was, what? Because it's known as a party island, but actually it's a very nice family island as well, family holiday island. And they booked a holiday resort for, especially with the children in mind, and they've had a really fun time. The children have loved every minute of it. But yeah, they you know, they were telling me stories about different people. It's funny, you know, on holiday, and just different the different behaviours of families and things, you know, like when you're people watching. And actually it was so funny because one of the Jen was, my daughter was sort of fanning herself because she was hot. And some ladies saw her and they said, in German, they said, it's because she's not wearing cotton clothing. And they knew what she'd said. They understood German, so they were sort of so they were having a laugh about that. You know, saying, oh, well, poor old me in my polyester. where they weren't in polyester, they were actually in cotton. And my daughter said when she went back to you know, their room, their hotel room or whatever, their apartment, she looking through all of her clothes to see whether they were cotton or polyester. Oh dear, I just found that hilarious. So funny. And it's a funny thing for someone to say as well, somebody you don't know. You know, they didn't know that they knew German. But yeah. Right, so I'm going to yeah, I'm not going to do any more. I love that. Isn't that pretty? Just sort of fits nicely there. Yeah, love it. Right, what else? What else are we doing? I want to do more of that writing, but I'm going to save big blocks like this to do big blocks of writing, maybe a passage of a book, something like that. I'll be doing little quotes as well. I love that so much. Right, let's see what else we want to do. This is it. That stitching's coming up there. Would be nice to have something there just to, well, okay, let's look at this, because this is ripped. This is torn, and these could do with pulling together, which I will do, but you know, there's a gap there, so let's find something for that. I'll put my needle away a minute so I don't stab myself. That fits perfectly. Oh, I don't want to hide the flower. Yeah, I don't want to hide the flower, but there's a rip there, and then there's a rip there, so we need something else. Again, nope. I like this. That's really pretty. Nope. I'm not getting anywhere fast, am I? So, well, that works. That works. What about that? Or I do put on something like that and then have just cover that over with a little piece of fabric, which I could have been doing at the beginning there. Didn't have to go through all of this. So for example, I could have put that there. And I think I'll do that. I think I'm going to put that there. Or does the white look better? Ooh. I don't want to put it like that. You know what? I'm going to do that. So this is going down. This has been hand stitched on as well. That's strange. I don't understand it. Oh, well, somebody's made it. Okay, I'm going to go for this because I know it creates a triangle, but that's fine. That can be stitched with something, but I like that. There. Yep, that's going on there. So let's get my thread out and these. Doesn't cover up the lovely pink flower, although it's a very pale flower, but it doesn't cover it up. I could thread paint. Well, no, I couldn't actually. Looking at it, it's too thick as it is. I do like thread painting, but I'm not a fan of altering what's already there, if you know what I mean. I don't know why, particularly if it's very pretty, and I just think, why am I doing that? Why would I want to do that? It's only if it wasn't very nice looking, then I would do it, I think. Like I've done it on a piece before. Right, happy with that. So I am going to put that to one side. So I do keep those bits of thread, but I use them when I don't need so much. So well, hopefully when I've done this, then I'll probably have to stop because I think I will have been on for a while. But yeah, I'm liking what I've done so far. It's nice to just sit and chat anyway. I've got a lot of work to do, carry on doing. things, sorting things out, especially in this room. It's terrible. And this is where the children will sleep when they come, and the grandchildren, so it will have to be sorted out. And I want to sort it out anyway, because I struggle to create in a room that's messy. Right, okay. Let's see. Again, I'm just going to, well, no, actually, I don't know whether to just, if I stitch as if it's, well, I'm stitching it on, so I will think of it as a permanent way of stitching it on, because I doubt I would do any slow stitching along here. So I might do overcast stitch here. It would probably be the easiest thing to do to get it down, and then I'll come around it as well, because you know it will come up. Had a coffee early this morning, so I won't be having another one, but yeah, I feel like I need another one. I didn't get up that early. Well, yeah, it was quite early, I suppose, but not as early as I have been. I mean, I've been getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 4:30. It's just ridiculous. Nobody should be getting up at that time of the morning. No one. So the wedding is next week, next Wednesday. And let me just see what's going on. Oh no, that was weird. It sounded like it had stopped, but it's coming up to an hour, so yeah. I will probably what I'll do. Oh my good lord! Probably what I'll do is do some editing again. I'm having to edit all of my videos at the moment. They're way too long, but I'm just so slow, and I'm not getting any faster. And then if I do something like 20 minutes, I feel frustrated because I'm not getting done what I want to do. I'm not sharing it with you guys. And then, so short form doesn't work for me. I much prefer, and actually I prefer watching long form videos. So, you know, it's personal taste at the end of the day. But yeah, if you know, I recognise that some people don't have the time to watch long videos, but you can always skip ahead. I do sometimes skip ahead if I want to see a certain part. But I've always been slow, and at the beginning I felt like it was an issue, but I don't feel like that really now. I'm just aware of it. Certainly nobody's complained, and if anybody's about to, don't. Because I won't take it kindly. Right, let's see, where are we? I mean, maybe I just, rather than overcast, maybe I just do the very edge like this. Just feels better. It seems like a bit of a waste of time stitching everything on and then restitching it, but this is meant to be just the couching stitch. No, not couching, basting stitch, isn't it? So it's not, you know, but it's taking so long, and when you're doing each piece, I don't know, has anybody else, well, I don't know if any of you are doing it, but if you are you finding that, or did you just base stitch everything and then, because I'm gonna have to go over it. Oops, that's my scissors falling on the floor. Hopefully not on Cara or Bobby or anyone. Well, if it's anybody else, I'll be worried because there shouldn't be anybody else here. Right. I haven't been watching as many videos on YouTube lately either. Don't know, I sort of put them on and then I turn them off, not really. I have my favourites. I love watching homesteading videos. I watch a lot of those, and just slow living videos, you know. They relax me a lot and inspire me, but you know, they do relax me. Oh, there's this one, a mother and daughter, I think I've mentioned her before, Kit and Caboodler. They're mudlarking, and also they make dolls' houses, they make miniatures and things, and they're just so creative and so nice. They're so down to earth, lovely, lovely mother and daughter, and I just love them. I think, yeah, they're one of my favourite sort of, you know, people on YouTube, if I'm honest. I just think they're lovely, lovely, lovely people, very creative. They go out and for anyone who doesn't know what mudlarking is, it's basically going out into areas where it's possible to find old remnants of bygone eras, particularly sort of Victorian, Edwardian, even earlier. So a lot of people will do it on the Thames foreshore, and that's where, well, I don't know if it's where the term came from, mudlarking, but a lot of people have license to go on the foreshore at the Thames and do it there, because they will find all sorts of things, you know, and you can find treasure. I mean, it really is like treasure hunting, but it's dirty work, you know. You've got to bend down and get into the soil or the mud or the whatever it is, you know, the sand, or not so much sand, but the beaches, for the pebbly beaches and what have you, because things get washed ashore, especially if they're part of an outlet or an inlet or a river, and things get washed up. And also there are things called Victorian bottle dumps around the UK, and so people go to things like that and do some mudlarking. You know, they find out where the old dumps were, and then they go and do the mudlarking there as well. So they find old bottles, old doll pieces, all sorts of things. The thing about Kit and Caboodler is or Fleur and Kate, is that they create these amazing miniatures. They're so creative, you know, not in the perfect way, not in you know, a fine art way, nothing like that. It's very, very I find it magical, actually, because they take things that they've taken off the beach, and it's often metal pieces that are obscure, you don't know what they were. Sometimes they'll clean up and there'll be treasures, sometimes they're just bits of, you know, broken pottery, sometimes they're, as I said, metal pieces, and they reimagine them into things for their miniature world, their dolls' houses. And they're not just houses either, they make miniature worlds in old clocks and things like that. You know, yeah, they're amazing. Watch them, because if you enjoy things like that, and you know, they're not rehearsed, they're not slick, nothing like that. They're just really nice and fun, and the stuff they find is very interesting. You know, they do find gold. They find gold nibs, you know, the old pen nibs. They found gold nibs. They found rings, jewellery. Kate, the daughter, found some silver recently, a silver button, solid, I believe they must have been solid silver, I believe, because or part of it anyway was. And yeah, they just find all sorts of things that are treasures. To some, these things would be maybe junk, I don't know. To me, they're treasured because I'm a collector. I like things, but mine are more natural in origin. At the moment, I am looking for bits of rusty old nails and screws and things like that when I walk around, so that I can use them in rusty dyeing. But I tend not, you know, I don't go to these places and look for things. And I mean, I love the idea of metal detecting. How fun would that be? Oh my goodness me, I would love that. Love it. I'd be very self-conscious doing it, but I would love it. I like going on beaches. It's something that I've done for a long time. Is beach combing, and I'll find things on beaches. And you know, used to find a lot of old pottery in Greece on the beaches as well. And I live not too far away from Seaham, which is famous for glass on the beach. So, you know, I go there sometimes and look for bits of glass, sea glass, and maybe show you my collection one day. I haven't got a big collection of the things that people go to see them for, which is multicoloured glass, but I have got a good collection of sea glass, sea-worn glass, and sticks and all. Oh my goodness, my family laugh at me, but it's just how I am. I've always been that way, always. Just pick up pieces of nature wherever I go. A bit like that story that I told the other day on there. She said she picks them up as something, reminders or something. She used a different word, I can't remember now. But yeah, I do the same thing, but it's not so much for my mental health. It doesn't sort of help any mental health issues. For me, it's just something that I love. I'm a bit like a magpie. I like to collect shiny objects, put it that way. So there we go. And, well, natural objects, but I love shiny objects as well. I'm so strange. Such a strange person. My family think I'm strange. Although some of them think it's cool. But generally speaking, my family are not like I am. It's like I'm come from a different family. Right. There we go. So that's on. Now what I will be doing is going around it again. I'm probably there, although I could potentially go around it there, but I think that looks nice. I'm really happy with that. Just show you. I will take a photograph and I'll put it on like I did last time, and I'll put it on. But isn't that lovely? I think that works really well in that corner. Well, yeah, in that space, because, you know, that is the only oval shaped or round shaped piece of doily. There's a stain there. I can live with that. Yeah, it's the only piece that, oh, and there's a rip. Okay, so I need to do something with those pieces. Put some flowers on, embroider flowers and things. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do some embroidery. Okay, so I think I'll leave it here because I've been on long enough. I will do some embroidery next time. So I'm trying to alternate paper crafting with slow stitch. And so, yeah, I'm probably, I mean, I'll see. I might do another slow stitch video before I do paper craft, but I'm hoping to do a paper craft one. So anyway, I'll show you this. Love that so much. And we did this. And what else did we do? Oh, we did this. Isn't that beautiful? How gorgeous. Love it. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back for more soon. Bye for now.